Good morning and welcome to SBU-TV. I'm Andrew Hale.
However, the reasoning for adding a new clock in the center of campus goes much deeper. Just a few steps to the northeast is yet another clock, this one outside of Butler Gym.
Good morning and welcome to SBU-TV. I'm Cal Reddington.
And I'm Andrew Hale. Happy belated Halloween, everyone. With the St. Bonaventure men's basketball season beginning earlier this week, our Anthony Da Silva spoke with the team captains about their goals for the season.
Good morning. I'm here in the Riley Center where tomorrow the St. Bonaventure men's basketball team will be back at home for the first time since before their trip to Florida last week, where the team competed at the ESPN NIT season tip-off. I traveled to Florida to cover the team at the ESPN Worldwide of Sports. Here's a behind-the-scenes look of last week's tournament.
At 2 a.m. on the first Sunday of every November, citizens in the United States set their clocks back 1 hour in observance of the start of Standard Time. But how does the transition from daylight saving time to Standard Time affect us? Let's take a look.
In just 2 hours, at 5 p.m., the sun will begin to set in the west, just behind me, an hour earlier than it would have less than a week ago. But how does this hour difference actually affect our bodies? This clock ultimately provides a bit of a historical link to its new counterpart. And as for the orange netting behind me, well, Missile said the university plans to add landscaping with bushes and stones surrounding the brick walls later this semester. For SBU-TV, I'm Andrew Hale.
After a long trip to Florida last week and a trip to Bucknell on Wednesday, the Bonnies will be back home here tomorrow in the Riley Center as the team faces rival Buffalo at 4 p.m. For SBU TV, I'm Andrew Hale. Back to you guys in the studio.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 IHSA Unified Basketball State Tournament. Here we have two teams, the Bradley Bourbon A Boilers and the Limestone High School Rockets. I'm Andrew Hale, joined alongside by Isaiah Adeleke, and we have an exciting game today.
Welcome back to SBU-TV. For the first time since the spring of 2023, St. Bonaventure has begun to send out residential surveys. Well, what do these surveys actually measure, and are they effective? Let's take a look. Residential surveys for St. Bonaventure students have returned. First used at Bonaventure in 2023, the university contracts with Benchworks by Elantra, a survey service that helps colleges around the country evaluate their housing programs and other aspects within the university. These surveys allow for students to provide feedback about facilities and other aspects of student life to university administrators, according to Ursula Hers, Bonaventure Director of Residence Life. The survey consists of 125 questions ranging from demographic-based questions to Bonaventure-specific questions. According to Hearst, in comparison to a homemade survey, Benchworks survey system helps the university quickly organize data and more efficiently assess student wants. One of the most commonly expressed concerns from students has to do with the state of Devereaux Hall.
But some of the improvements I think that they need to do are a facelift to the hallways. They're kind of like an insane asylum. It feels like they're just bland and there's no characters.
Hearst said the university looks at how happy students say they are in their residence hall when deciding if modernizations are needed. Hearst said the university ultimately prioritizes what a majority of students want through the basics, that being quality of facilities, student safety, and creating a welcoming environment for all. However, students say that they are hopeful that their wants will be met through the use of surveys like this.
One of the things is just students talking like this, getting their voices out there, making sure that what the concerns that we have are being communicated to the proper channels. But another thing is that the administration needs to listen to those problems and make a concerted effort in order to better understand the needs of their students.
For SBU-TV, I'm Andrew Hale. Typically sent out every 2 years, the surveys will once again return next spring. Bonnie's legend and NBA great Bob Lanier died earlier this year. The St. Bonaventure men's basketball team honored Lanier before their season opener, remembering number 31 with a ceremony and video tribute. The team plans to commemorate his legacy through the rest of the season, wearing patches with his retired number affixed to the front of their jerseys.
When I grew up, St. Bonaventure basketball was, the university was Bob Lanier University. He epitomized what a student athlete was, just a great guy, gave back. It's sad that, we lost him at such an early age.
Lanier tallied over 2,000 points in his 3 seasons at Bonaventure, leading the Bonnies to the Final Four in 1970. St. Bonaventure named its basketball court after him in 2007, commemorating Lanier and his accomplishments.
It created a bridge between an older generation of Bonnie fans and alumni who knew Bob and knew those early days, and a current generation that didn't know him but always heard the name.
Lanier embodied the Franciscan values so dear to his alma mater. The legacy of the Bonaventure icon expanded beyond the hardwood floors of the Riley Center.
The fact that we add Bob not just in those glory years, of the run to a national championship, but all through the years, a man who continued to stand up, not just for humanitarian values, but for what he learned in this school. I think that's a lasting message for us.
Andrew Hale, Bonnie's Basketball Now.
The HF wrestling team is having a successful season with a record of 5-3 in dual meets, and for the first time in school history, the Vikings have a nationally ranked wrestler in junior Vincent Robinson. After transferring from Marian Catholic a year and a half ago, Vincent Robinson has made a name for himself here at HF. He has shown why he's also one of the best in the nation, placing 5th at Fargo Nationals over this past summer. Head coach Jim Sacco has been impressed with how Robinson has competed in some of the top tournaments in the country.
Yeah, I think, Vincent, he just never loses. So when he does lose a match, which he recently did at this Powerade tournament in Pennsylvania, it's almost like our team was walking around like zombies. But when he steps out on the mat, I don't even expect a close win against people. I'm surprised when anybody even challenges him.
Over winter break, 4 HF wrestlers traveled to Cuyahoga, Ohio, and competed in the Walsh Jesuit Ironman tournament. The tournament featured some of the best wrestlers in the country, and Robinson, who placed first in the 126-pound division, gained some valuable experience through the tournament.
It was really just like a grind, and it was really just it was a mental thing. So it was just you walk in there, and then whoever you wrestle, whoever step on the line in front of you, that's who you already know who it is. So.
Robinson comes from a wrestling family. His brother, sophomore Jadon Robinson, has also been successful here at HF, placing in a number of the top invites in the U.S. Together, the brothers have been pushing each other and their teammates to be the best they possibly can.
I don't push them to the limits, but I push them so they can have confidence inside of them. A lot of them, most of the team got ranked in the state now. Now we on the billboard now because, I wouldn't say because me and my brother or my dad, is because, the coaches. Coach Sacco, Coach Rob, and my pops.
The NC State commit, who is ranked 5th in the entire nation and 1st in the state, has high expectations for himself and his teammates, as HF has never had a state champion wrestler.
My individual goals was to win Ironman, win Powerade, win every tournament we have. Unfortunately, I didn't do that, and then the main goal for me was when I transferred to HF was to win be the first state champ at HF.
The Vikings only have a few meets remaining as the season concludes on January 22nd. They look to go into the postseason with a positive mindset and come out with a state championship. Reporting for VTV, I'm Andrew Hale.
If you've walked around the St. Bonaventure campus lately, you may have noticed a recent addition. That being a brand new street clock right outside of Friesen Memorial Library. The clock was placed on October 16th, and as you can see here, it sits on a concrete patio surrounded by electric brick walls. I reached out to the university, and according to Tom Missel, Bonaventure's chief communications officer, the money for the clock was donated by Jack McGinley, a former chair on Bonaventure's board of trustees. However, the reasoning for adding a new clock in the center of campus goes much deeper. Just a few steps to the northeast is yet another clock, this one outside of Butler Gym. And according to Missel, this clock, which has stood here since 1934, will be removed later this semester. The clock, which features Latin phrases written by Father Thomas Plasman himself, has not functioned properly for years, and due to the clock faces being deteriorated, the repair costs could not be justified, according to Missel. This clock ultimately provides a bit of a historical link to its new counterpart. And as for the orange netting behind me, well, Missel said the university plans to add landscaping with bushes and stones surrounding the brick walls later this semester. For SBU-TV, I'm Andrew Hale.